Wellness Week number 103, 103 Wellness Weeks. And we are the hosts this week. I'm Jamie Dorley, and welcome back, Joe Messino. How we doing, Joe?
Oh, firing it up here. You know what, 103? That's amazing.
Yeah, we had some events before the Wellness Week, so we've been doing these for over 23 years now and counting, so we're really excited that now we're doing a hybrid model where you can do it any which way you want. You want to come in, come on down. We're live, and where are we located, Joe?
Well, the same place we have been, Jamie, 2419 Baldwick Road. And folks, when you come, you might want to wear your sunglasses because the new building colors are bright, vibrant, looking fantastic out there. The new white and blue. Love it.
You like the new colors?
Yeah, I love it.
Well, we need to freshen things up. The landscaping's done, the inside's done, the outside's done. The team is here, and we're ready to rock and roll. So come on down, 2419 Baldwick Road, right in the heart of Pittsburgh, PA. Good morning. We got everyone here joining us here on the weekend, Joe.
That's right.
Weekend doesn't stop anybody. We don't work banker's hours. So we got the whole team here. You want to come down, and what are some of the things you can enjoy when you come down today?
Well, you know, when you come down, it's going to be, there's so many things you can do, and you don't have to be a patient. You don't have to be a customer. Of course, we want you to be one. We want you to take advantage of the great specials that we've got running this entire week. We'll be making some smoothies. We're going to have some samples. People here of like mind that will help you, talk to you, encourage you, give you all that information that you need. The energy here is off the charts.
So I heard smoothies.
Oh, yeah.
I heard samples. What are some of the samples people can try?
Well, we got all of the chewables up there. You know, with Nutritional Frontiers, we've always led the industry in diverse and multiple delivery methods. So all the chewables are going to be up there.
Give us an example, Joe.
Oh, my God, my all-time
Be
favorite.
specific.
Probzyme,
Okay,
baby.
here we go. Like pulling teeth today. Holy cow. Probzyme.
You got to give them, little.
Probzyme flavors are available now.
Oh, we got 3 flavors. We got tropical fruit, the original. We got cherry and grape. But beyond that, Jamie, it's now the most improved of this formula we've ever seen because of 2 major ingredients. One is the lactospore, which is our patented research trademarked form of soil-based probiotics, and then the GD4, which is the gluten sensitivity digesting enzyme.
Well, I love it. We got food here today. We have samples. We have smoothies. We have education. We have healthcare professionals that answer any questions. We have some new devices like the BIA that can really zero in on your body composition. You may
Which
or
many
may not
times
want
is
to know.
more important than just weight, right? Than the scale.
Absolutely. We're going to get into a little bit of the new formula, Thermogenesis Complete. What I do notice is the body's shape is changing, and I'm actually gaining a little bit of muscle. Yeah, which is interesting, right? I know. They say it's not possible.
Not possible.
It is possible. When the nutrients are right, and we're going to get into the components of why nutrition is so important. Look, this may be new to some people. There's been further studies done at Harvard University. Is that a reputable school?
I guess it's probably in the top 3. Yeah.
I mean, it's not Bloomsburg or anything, right? But
it's not Slippery Rock.
Well, nothing is like Slippery Rock. So what Harvard did is they said, well, why are so many people obese? Let's really zero in on the science, right? I know what the science is. I just got to look out the window. Fast food alley right here, right? Yep. So one is the quality of food, because food's information. So if you eat sugar or dairy or processed junk, there is no junk food. What is there?
There's just food or there's junk.
Oh, and how do you know the difference?
Well, if it was grown, let's see, if I can do Dr. Tracy, if it ran, swam, flew, or grew, then it's good food. Yeah,
ground tree, runs, swims, or flies, right? I always ask people, if this would sit on your counter, would it spoil or not?
That's good.
If it doesn't spoil for after a week, it's probably not food.
Yeah.
So we know what food is. You can also say, well, if the grocery stores are all closed, can I find this on the planet? If so, pretty good chance it's food. So one is the quality of food. So we want whole foods as much as possible. Second was, well, the metabolic rate of the person, right? Well, we know that metabolic rate is tied into genetics. It's tied into activity. As you work out, it's not how much you burn when you work out, it's how much you're burning afterwards, right?
Correct.
Over the next 24 to 48 hours. And then the third component is the microbiome, right? break
Oh,
down
that's so,
in the
so
gut.
important,
So
right.
tell us why that's so important, Joe.
If the microbiome breaks down in any way, shape, or form, if there's too much bad bacteria or if there are lesions throughout the mucosa, then nutrients are going to escape and bad stuff is going to get
Yeah, and
into the
think
bloodstream.
about bad bacteria like yeast or
Yeah.
candida.
Gonna get
That's
in.
going to crave sugars and alcohols, right? And dairy products, where the food is going to crave what? Fibers.
That's right.
Right. So
Who's
if you're
gonna
having
crave
a lot,
food?
the microbiome, ecology dysfunction can be a major factor for most people. And that's why when I was doing consults for years, towards the end, I put everyone on Candy Kill, a shake in the morning, and probiotics at night.
Absolutely. And I think that's probably the part that gets overlooked the most as well, right? The amount of good bacteria needed in the gut. And I think there's still a lot of people out there that are not using probiotics as they should.
So when we look at this, the concern is what the information we're receiving, right?
Right.
We know the food pyramid in the 70s. What was that all about?
That was all about supporting the dairy farmers and the wheat farmers,
And
right?
the processed carbs,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
The breads and
Yeah,
the
wheat and
rices
dairy.
and all those starchy carbs, which you need starch when you're burning them off. An athlete needs carbohydrates. The average person, not as much. It depends on your activity level, right? So when you look at the food pyramid in the 70s, it should have been upside down, right?
Right, exactly.
And then we looked at other ones over time, but the latest one from Tufts University, it's almost a year ago, they put watermelon and kale at the top, which we're all for.
Good foods, yeah.
What about number 3?
That's hard for me to even say it. Frosted mini wheats.
Yeah.
Number 3? Wow, I don't see those
Well,
growing
when you
anywhere.
start to go down the list, the Honey Nut Cheerios is concerning. Then you get to fake eggs, and margarine is over whole eggs and butter. So
I'm surprised that the margarine thing is still hanging around like that.
So this is tough because it came from Tufts University, right? Which originally had launched the 12 biomarkers of aging years ago, which would determine your actual age or your chronological age, right?
Right.
So this is the information people are getting. So it's very complicated. However, we make it really simple. So we have some new innovations we want to talk about in body comp and why body comp and weight loss when we're talking about cardiometabolic syndrome.
Oh my God! Because the more bad fat that accumulates in the body, then the more stress is put on the cardiovascular system.
And that's really the
Simple
theme
as
this
that.
week, right?
Yeah.
Cardiometabolic syndrome. Really something simple you can do, the least expensive test you can do, and probably the most accurate of future disease or optimization of health is the waist circumference,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yep.
So, men should always be under 40, regardless of how big they are, and females always under 35. But it's not just the number. It's, where were we last year? Are you smaller bone like Joe or bigger bone like me? When you're real lean, what is your waist size, right? I always look at the belts. You should try and look at your belts and say, hey, if they're getting tighter or have to go up a notch, probably not a good thing. Why is that such a concern, Joe?
Because the amount that accumulates around the waist is the most dangerous.
Yeah, they call it VAT, visceral adipose tissue, right? Sometimes these people, you would see them from the back and you wouldn't really see a difference.
Yeah.
And then you see the front, like the old beer belly.
Or the pregnant woman syndrome,
Yeah.
right? From the back, you can't tell, but turn sideways.
And sometimes it's a matter of, they're holding fat everywhere, right? So that's what means that your body's become very efficient at that. And we want to do is shift the metabolism so you become efficient at burning body fat. So we need to create this thermogenic effect in the body. That's where at the cellular level you're getting heat produced, and that will burn more calories, which is energy. That's what a calorie really is. It's not a bad thing. It's energy, right? So if you're not physically active or you're moderately active, your calories coming in have to be adjusted because that's how much you're going to burn, right?
I mean, you have a baseline, like you mentioned earlier, right? You're going to burn so many calories just being alive.
Yeah, and we can do this not only with their food, with exercise, with their basic metabolic rate, and now we can do with the nutraceuticals, these innovative, patented, research, trademarked ingredients. That's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. Before we do, we got to get to the cellular level. And all our cells are made of lipids, otherwise known as fats. So every cell in your body has a cell membrane that's made of fat. And what that fat is comprised of determines how well the cell works.
Exactly.
So
And then
what
you have-
could be in the cell?
Well, you're going to have basically, you can keep it as simple as good fats and bad fats. EPA and DHA, you want as much of that as possible, whereas the high fat absorbing omega 6s, you want as little as possible.
Yeah, and there's healthy versions of all the fats, right?
Sure
It's
there are.
not that they're generalized at good and bad. The omega-6s have some benefits with flaxseed oil, linoleic acid, things like that. But every cell has that structure. And you really want to paint this picture in your head, right? You want the cell under a microscope to look like a grape. Robust, full of hydration, alive, good coloring, good nutrition. Or as it ages, it turns into that raisin. How does that look?
Yeah, it looks dried and weak, and that's exactly what happens to your
It shrinks,
cells.
gets
Yeah.
rigid, stiff, sticky, tight. That's what the blood vessels become over time, right?
That's right.
There's a lot of tests to show that. It could be cholesterol, triglycerides, blood sugars, blood pressures, waist circumference, triglycerides. There's so many different factors. Then you get into high sensitivity C-reactive proteins. And we're going to show you that some of these nutrients actually been helping with published research. So it's not only the omegas anymore, but it's also the SPM. This is one of my favorite graphs ever. What it shows is that on the left is the odds of cardiovascular risk factors. And at the bottom, it's looking at omega-3 content in your cells. So basically, how much omegas do you need in your cell to help prevent cardiovascular events?
Yeah, exactly. And you can see right on this graph, should have between 5 and 10%. And that will keep that'll reduce the risk of cardiac arrest.
Well, how much?
By 90%.
I was going to say, come on, Joe. Hey, this is 90%. This
And
isn't 2%.
What's statistically relevant is only 10%. So at 90, it's off the chart.
Yeah. So what they showed is that this is from the American Medical Association, JAMA, 1995, done at St. Luke's Hospital in Kansas City. And what they found was that as you get that content higher, your risk of cardiac arrest goes down, right? Now, people say, well, what about the test? So somebody tests and they're low, what are you going to do?
Well, and then you have to look at the diet. You have to make sure that they're getting essential fatty acids in their diet. But you know what? It's not enough. They got to supplement at that point,
and
right?
what if somebody tests and their numbers are good?
Then keep doing it.
Yeah. Keep doing it. So either way, you need omega-3.
Either way, yeah.
What are some of the foods you like to get omega-3 from?
Yeah, well, see, I'm one of those guys that likes to eat a can of sardines 3 or 4 times a week. So I love
So I call
sardines.
you Joey Sardines.
Joey
here.
Sardini, hey. But look, it's got to be good fatty fish that's wild caught. That's the best source.
So fish, what else?
Good oils like olive oil, like coconut oil, some nuts, walnuts, very high in good fats.
Yeah, so we got nuts, we got good healthy oils, we got fish. You can go to things like avocados, right? Even egg yolks will have a higher content of organic eggs. So
Pastured.
You want to get a combination of food and then food-based nutraceuticals, and that would be the omega-3s. And you look at the inflammatory cascade. You have the linoleic acid, right? The flaxseed. That needs to be converted to EPA and DHA, and your body's okay at it. And now to convert the EPA to DHA and the SPMs, what they found is the people least effective at this are people that are obese, diabetic, that have osteoarthritis, high blood pressure, cardiovascular risk factors, right? Those can't convert into the SPM. So that's when you need to add it in as a nutraceutical support.
Right.
So there's plenty of fish oils out there in the market. I know it's been a while since me and you were in high school. We're not going to say what year we graduated. I was in 86. That's 1986, not 18.
And I just had my 50th high school reunion.
Oh, I'm doing my gazintas. So that was 1973.
You got it.
Because Joe's 13 years my senior. Doesn't look it, but that just means he has more experience. But seriously, in school, if you got a 30%, what would happen on a test?
Yeah, they'd be taking you and putting you in special ed probably.
Left out.
Yeah, left out.
Yeah.
You're going back in grade.
Next year, you got to take this class again because we didn't make any impact. 60% would be barely passing, right?
Barely.
And then
Mostly
me and
failed.
you would fall into the 90%.
Of course, that's right.
So there are oils on the market that are 30%. Let's take a look at this one, right? It's 1,000 milligrams of oil. So people tell me, hey, James, I got the Omega 1000, like you said.
Yeah.
And what do? I spin the bottle around, and we want to look at EPA and DHA. And what is it?
Well, the EPA and DHA is usually going to be like the 18-12 ratio. You're going to have 180 of EPA, 120 of DHA. So
that's
nowhere near
30%.
1,000,
That's
right?
30%.
Yeah, nowhere near 1,000.
Right. So you look at 30%. What's the other 70% of oils?
Ah, that's the big question, and it's usually the bad fats.
Yeah. So at Nutritional Frontiers, we have 90% EPA and DHA. That's the highest concentrations you can get.
It is.
They're a minimal of 90. And in fact, in the soft gel, we added D3. In the liquid, we did not. But you're getting these in a natural triglyceride form.
Right.
These are actually lower triglycerides. And we work with Dr. Jorn Dyerberg, MD cardiologist. They call him the godfather of fish oil.
Official.
He's been putting out studies since 1971. You weren't even out of high school yet. That's how long ago it was. Holy cow, you just got your permit, right, to drive.
Yeah.
So 1971, we're going back over 50 years. In those 50 years, he's put out a couple studies. How about 450 studies? And that's who's on our team with making our fish oil.
Yeah.
So do we have the credibility, Joe?
We have the credibility. You know what else, Jamie, surprises me is you talk to anybody else in the industry, they don't even know who this guy is.
No.
They don't even know.
How would they know?
Yeah.
Because most of the companies do not make their own fish oil.
right.
And if they do, they can't get those higher concentrations. So omegas are part of your cells. This is food. This is not a vitamin. It needs to be part of your food program and part of your nutritional support program, correct?
Oh, yeah.
So it's just a matter of how many omegas a day, Joe? Tell me. This one you'd have to take here. It says 10 a day. Ours would be 3 a day. And then 1 teaspoon a day. So how many do you recommend of our soft gels?
I'd say most people, they're a little behind the 8 ball, so they're going to need 2 to 4 a day.
Good.
Yeah.
So you can start with 2, and if you're okay, go to 4. If not, you can do 1 teaspoon. Put it in your fridge. How does it taste?
Oh, it's delicious. It's just a lemon-flavored liquid. That's all
Now,
it
it
is.
is an oil,
Lemon-flavored
so
oil.
it's thick,
Yeah.
right?
It's an oil
It's
consistency.
not water.
Right.
So you have water and oil. This is an oil. So it is thick, but it tastes great. So we look at SPM. So tell us a little bit about SPMs. I know there's over 1,000 published studies on SPMs and COVID on PubMed. What are some of the other things that you know it's beneficial for?
Oh, boy. Well, the thing is, it's going to do something that nothing else we really know of can do, and that's halt the progression of systemic inflammation. So what exactly is that? Well, most inflammation you can see, right? Bang your knuckles, swells up. That's acute. We have ways of handling that, but that's your body's defense mechanism. But systemic inflammation is throughout the bloodstream. It's going all throughout the body, and it's causing havoc in almost every organ and system in your body. So it's at the cellular level. And the reason it's there is because it's unresolved, right? We couldn't handle the inflammatory activity that happened, so it starts going, and it doesn't get resolved. These are resolving mediators. They stop it.
That's what I like. So let's review some of the published research. I'll save you all a lot of time out there of doing your research. So we've done it for you. Yeah. So the first thing, let's look at pain. Because, my concern is, the overconsumption of pain medications, even the over-the-counter pain medications. People become reliant on these. So one is food can create pain. How is that possible?
Well, food can create pain by being a non-food, by being chemically ridden, and that's going to cause systemic inflammation.
So food can be pro-inflammatory. So change the diet, change the message, right? Second is add in something like the SPM. Now, this is public data that showed at only 2 soft gels per day, in 1 month, almost 30% reduction in pain.
That is incredible. 30% reduction overall. And that's in all categories of pain, right?
Yeah. And then they had all these other factors involved in this, but the biggest one has to be the pain reduction, and only 2 per day. I actually recommend for acute pain 3 twice a day.
Right.
What do you think?
Absolutely. Or 2, at least 2 of the teaspoons a day.
Yeah, on the SPM that comes now in soft gel in teaspoons or in liquid. You can use it by the teaspoon. 2 soft gel is 1 teaspoon.
Right.
On the fish oil, it's 3 is 1. So really easy to dose by liquid or by soft gel. Check this out, Joe. Not just C-reactive protein, but high sensitivity C-reactive protein. prostaglandin, PG2, and fibrinogen rates were all reduced within 4 to 8 weeks. This is published data from JAMA, and we looked at all the studies on PubMed. High sensitivity C-reactive protein down 43%, almost cut in half.
Almost cut in half. And that is the single most important marker for heart disease.
And then you have prostaglandin and PG2. Now, the 1 and 3 are anti-inflammatory. PG2 is pro-inflammatory. Well, why would you need that in the body? Well, it's a defense mechanism and a healing mechanism. But when it's accelerated or can't be cooled down, that's when it's a concern, right?
Exactly.
So we have that normalized within 4 weeks. What about fibrinogen rates? Talk about all the different people have had blood clots, right? Strokes, cardiovascular events. And fibrinogen rates were reduced in only 8 weeks.
And this is what really brings it up to speed with what's going on with all of the stuff in the last 3 years, with the cytokine storm and the spike proteins.
Absolutely. So when we look at a complete protocol, we want to make sure we're looking at food-based nutrients, not just a vitamin or supplement.
Right.
So people asked this week, we were in Atlanta at a VIP dinner, and the one woman said, well, why would you do a shake? I said, because it's food.
It's food. The other answer is because I know what's in it.
That was the second answer. Yeah, I know what's in it, and I know the message my body's going to get. It's going to tell my body to release insulin slightly. It's going to help utilize insulin to get the nutrients inside the cell where they could be burned for energy. It's going to eliminate any cravings, and it's going to stimulate my body's ability to burn fat without any central nervous system stimulation.
Exactly. And without any chemicals, additives, or preservatives that would impede that process.
And without the cost of food. Have you eaten out lately?
Yeah, it's crazy how much food. I mean, you just can't get anything under $20.
I was just thinking 20 seems to be the number. Even at Whole Foods, when I build a salad, it's like $15, but at least I know what I'm getting there. So we were talking as a team this week, from there to a high-end meal, everything in between is nothing better than glorified fast food, right? Yeah. So I says, well, I'm going to eat at the Shakes. I'm going to do Whole Foods, or we'll occasionally go out to a nice dinner. Folks, be careful when you're eating out because the food right now is not high quality.
And you can't trust that they're using good oils, that they're using good ingredients. I mean, you almost have to quiz them every time you sit down at a restaurant.
That's why you want to go to reputable, usually locals only, where it's an independent restaurant or something like a Whole Foods where you're going to get good quality veggies and things. So Ultimate Shake plus oranges would be a complete meal.
Sure would, because you're getting protein, good carbs, good fat, good fiber, all in one.
What else you getting in there?
Oh, so you're getting some amazing nutrients that will actually help the whole process of blood sugar maintenance, cellular energy production, and overall with CoQ10, and with the green coffee bean extract that's in there, just amazing. Plus, Jamie, when was the last time you ate a kumquat?
Well, I just did because I had the pro oranges.
It's in the oranges, right? Exactly.
So I like that because it has green coffee bean extract. It also has Sensoril, which is a patented, research trademarked ashwagandha for stress. So maybe like me, where you get stressed, you may eat more. The Sensoril will help with that.
Yes.
So it'll help with blood sugar, helps with mental energy. It helps with stress-induced eating, and it helps with really endurance too. You need to get off. If you're on them, you need to get off the energy drinks.
Oh, my God. 500%
increase in strokes. Doesn't matter what age you're at. So think about that, all you youngsters out there doing these energy drinks.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of something good that went bad, right? With the original Gatorade, it was electrolytes, and it was okay. But now it's turned this into an industry, this energy drink thing.
And then we have the Thermogenesis Complete. So it's a complete formula, 6 different products in one formulation.
The latest addition to the complete series from Nutritional Front Series.
I got 2 compliments this morning. I've been doing the Thermogenesis Complete. We're coming up on week 3, and I can tell a difference in it, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
It seems like, the waist gets smaller and the arms get bigger.
That's perfect.
So let's talk about this Thermogenesis Complete, Joe. Has everything we want in one. The nice thing is that there's really 3, I say, upper-level ingredients, top shelf. So one's a Capsamax. That's the Red Hot Chili Peppers, not your band, but the actual ingredient from Red Hot Chili Pepper that will stimulate thermogenesis. At the cellular level.
That's right.
All the studies were done at UCLA School of Medicine, where Dr. Amy Lee, a close personal friend of ours, did the research on weight loss. And they're showing anywhere between 10 and 14 pounds within 12 weeks. That was without any drastic dietary changes.
Well, this Capsamax is a patented form of capsaicin.
Yeah.
Now, capsaicin has been around, but we don't just go for the old stuff, right? We go for the patented, research, trademarked version because the studies are there.
And one of the key things with the Capsamax that you see with other capsaicins is that the Capsamax does not irritate your intestinal tract.
Yeah, that's
You're
big
dealing
point.
with something that's got some thermogenic effect. You don't want that. Next is Ervingia, the IGOB 131.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, as
that-
Mikey G says.
Is that what you would
That's
like?
what he calls
All
it.
right,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. You guys are Star Wars fans? Okay. So the African mango actually works on leptin and adiponectin levels.
Yes.
Let's hear a little bit about those two really important, often misunderstood hormones.
Yeah, very much so, because one regulates hunger, one regulates feeling full, right? So those two have to be in balance.
Need to be in sync.
In sync. Yeah.
Another one of your favorite
Yeah, no,
bands.
that's yours. That's your era, not me. But yeah, they got to be in sync, and that's a lot of times they're way off, and that's the big problem because you just always feel hungry. Why? You're eating foods with no nutrients.
Well, that's where I first started making my comeback, is with the original berry tone that
Yeah.
had the African mango in it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel full. I was hungry all the time. I wasn't able to burn fat even with many hours of exercise per week, right? So sometimes you need nutritional support to get you over the hump. And then, of course, one of our favorites since the 1990s, Garcinia cambogia.
Yeah.
So this is the actual ingredient in things like hydroxycut.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Garcinia, Joe. Why is that so important?
Garcinia is a fruit, but it yields this nutrient called hydroxycitric acid, or HCA. And that is the important part about this, because what that nutrient does is it inhibits an enzyme that causes your body to store carbohydrates as fat. That's simple. Okay, most people eat too high of a refined carbohydrate diet. So this will help prevent. If you don't burn those carbs immediately, what's going to happen? Their body's going to store them as fat. This will help prevent
not
that.
only that, when you overconsume carbs, any fat you eat gets stored.
Gets stored, right, because your body's going to try to burn the carbs first.
Yeah, because you can't burn the fat if your carbs are high.
That's right.
So that's why when you do low carbs or low fat, it works, right? And when people really are behind the eight ball, I bring the fat and carbs down low for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
So you
to
bring the
kick
fiber
start.
up and also the protein. So the next three ingredients, I look at them as support ingredients, even though they all have tremendous research on their own and great therapeutic effects. So let's look at green coffee bean extract. Blood
There it
sugar
is again,
modulation, right? Modulates the blood sugar. It helps give really a good non-caffeinated pop to the neurotransmitters for energy, and it helps reduce cravings.
Yeah, it contains two of the three ingredients or nutrients that you would find in a coffee bean. The two that are most beneficial and without the caffeine. So the two that are beneficial are caffeic and chlorogenic acids, and that's what's doing the trick.
Well, we love that ingredient. We've been using that for a long time. Raspberry ketones is interesting, is that they showed a lot of research on that ingredient by itself to preserve lean body mass in a calorie deficit. How cool is that?
That's real cool. And I mean, it was made real cool by the Wizard of Oz a few years back,
Yes.
right?
Our buddy, your buddy, everyone's buddy, Dr. Mehmet Oz, right? And then the white mulberry leaf, a lot of benefits on that for blood sugars, cardiovascular, LDL levels. So a really nice
And
combination.
Jamie, how many formulas out there where you see just has one of those? Across the board, right?
And if they have more than one, it's not at therapeutic levels. These
Right.
are all at therapeutic levels. So the benefits of the Capsamax is gives that thermogenic effect. It helps with calorie expenditure or energy. You're burning fat. But here's where it gets fun, Joe. It's helping to balance out the glucose tolerance and insulin sensitivity, meaning, when you have high blood sugars, why is that? The body can't get the sugar inside the cell. So it's floating through the bloodstream. So what gets it inside the cell? Certain nutrients, including the Capsamax.
Yes, absolutely.
It's be a great bundle with the glucolyze.
Oh, God, yeah.
So what's the benefit? Reduction in body mass. What about the blood lipids, Joe? We're talking about cardiometabolic syndrome. We got glucose, triglycerides, and cholesterol. Isn't that really the trifecta, the holy grail
It sure
of
is.
cardiovascular
It sure is.
risk factors?
Yeah, it sure is. And, when you see one of the most telling signs is when those triglycerides are through the roof.
Yeah, it's funny. I was looking at someone's blood work, and normal is under 150. I said, I think we want it under 100.
I think so, yeah.
And some docs will say under 80 or 60. So lower is better. I've seen them as high as 800 to 1,000.
Because when the fat's accumulating in the blood, that means it's not being used by the body beneficially.
No, it's really when the fats and sugar connect. You look at the triglyceride molecule. That's really what the issue is. And that's really a red alert for cardiovascular disease.
Advanced glycation, right? Yeah.
Yes. So next is Ervingia. Let's look at some of the benefits here, Joe.
Well, you can't beat this. I mean, this has been around a while now, and it's been used in different formulas. We used it in our original baritone as well. But, I mean, it's great because it's also going to work at that hormonal level to help keep the body working at a high rate, keep the hunger down, help you feel full. Of course, if you're eating good food on top of it.
Yeah, well, sometimes even people that are eating a good diet don't feel full, right? When stress is taking these leptin and adiponectin levels out of balance, that's what you struggle with. So a lot of published studies on just this ingredient, up to 20 pounds of weight loss in only 12 weeks.
And that's a real good, solid, steady weight loss. It's not a crash.
So let's take a look at Garcinia, Joe. Here's a meta-analysis where we took about 8 different studies and combined them, just to give you an overall summary of benefits. So let's hear it.
Well, it's going to help with weight, BMI, waist circumference. Why? those 3 together is important because earlier we talked about when that fat accumulates like a spare tire around the waist, it's the most damaging to the heart and to cardiovascular system. So when your BMI, you want to keep that good ratio of fat, muscle, and bone in your body, and that's going to tell you the difference. Weight, out of the 3, I think that's going to be like the fringe benefit. You're going to lose a little weight, but what's more important is keeping that waist down, keeping the fat away from the heart, and giving you the energy on top of it.
Well, here you go, Joe. You set you right up, or you set yourself up. This is the chlorogenic acids and caffeic acids. Let's hear about them.
Yeah, these are great. Now, these are the beneficial parts of the coffee bean, and they're going to help give you a cellular energy, not a stimulant. Right? Cellular sustained energy. And then the chlorogenic acid really helps with blood glucose levels.
The raspberry ketones, as mentioned earlier, really helping with some of these key things, including the absorption, breaking down of fat, right? And balancing the secretion of the adiponectin, right? Which is really important because when that's really high, then you're going to have issues with cravings and fat storage. The last one is the white mulberry, excellent for diabetes, blood sugars, high blood pressure, all the cardiovascular risk factors.
Jay, we could have stopped, before that. Could have stopped after the Garcinia and the Capsamax and the Ervingia, but we didn't. Because why? It's a complete formula now. That's what makes it one.
You're not going to find this on Amazon. You're not going to find it at the health food store or through the Giant Eagle grocery stores. So this is only available through Nutritional Frontiers. It's an exclusive formulation by us, patented, researched, and trademarked. So when we look at this, let's talk about how do we put this together? Because to me, I see food here. So I would recommend Ultimate Shake, 1 scoop of pearl oranges, and 3 caps of Thermogenesis Complete.
Yeah.
And how would you dose that? Once a day, twice a day, what?
I think it depends on the person, the individual, and the results they need. But the bare minimum would be once a day.
Yeah, I also look at timeline. Hey, if we need to get ready for a competition, a wedding, class reunion, the beach, and we only got 4 weeks versus 12 weeks, then we got to double up to catch up, right?
Time to double up.
And, the shakes, I also do 2 or 3 shakes a day if I know I'm going to have a bigger dinner, if there's going to be some type of birthday or celebration going on. So you can take these once, twice, or 3 times a day. The Thermogenesis Complete, I think 3 to 6 caps would be about the max a day.
That'd be.
So take those first thing in the morning or before you work out. You will notice you warm up a little quicker, and your body has a good, sustained fat-burning effect.
Yes, absolutely.
Without any central nervous system stimulants.
Well, when I see these 3 formulas here, I see food and high energy food supplement. So there, it's all in one. You have your macros, you have all your micros, everything you need.
Well, this is available, these formulations at the World of Wellness. What's the best way to contact them if you can't make it in?
You know what? Come on down or give us a call, 412-922-9355. The number's still the same.
And what about the website?
Oh, my God. Yeah, you can come on. You can go right on our website, wowpittsburgh.com. Well, wowpgh.com, wowpgh.com.
So come on down, 2419 Baldwick Road. Give the office a call at 412-922-WELL, 412-922-9355, or go directly to our website at wowpgh.com. So, of course, we want to see everyone down here today. We have Dr. Judy Mikovits at 11 o'clock today.
The Queen's coming back.
Via satellite.
Yeah.
She's coming in from the West Coast. And then what do we have going on at noon 6? I'm really excited for the dynamic duo. Two up-and-coming superstars on the team, Dr. Phil Ross and Alicia Bilak.
Yeah, and I think they even got their pictures on here. Oh, Dr. Ross did on the flyer. But, yeah, Alicia Bilak and Dr. Phil Ross. Now, they're the epitome of knowledge, experience, and energy, right? They have it. You could see it when they're walking through here, both of them. But they've got the knowledge to go.
Well, they live the part. They look the part. You know, they are part of that younger generation that's really into health and really concerned about the environment also, and the environment of their body.
Right. And Dr. Phil has the structure, and Alicia has the internal, and so they got a perfect combination.
Yeah, so Alicia's a functional nutritionist. Yeah. She'll come in and evaluate you and look over what you're currently doing, what your goals are, what your health history is, what medications, supplements, activity, diet, stress, sleep, everything. Then she will customize, Joe, a program just for you. So what does that mean? Because most programs are cookie cutters.
They are. Yeah, you pick one from here, one from here, one from there. And sometimes they don't even let you pick. They just give it to you. No, she's going to customize it because of the testing that she does. It's complete. We have food sensitivity testing. We have the Zyto. We have the Oligo scan. And we have her wealth of knowledge on top of it.
Well, that's great. And then we have Dr. Phil, of course, chiropractor to the stars. He is a chiropractic sports physician, very unique. He's also TPI certified for the Titleist Performance Institute. So any golfers out there, you want to improve your score without cheating? And then recently, he was provided with the certification and approval to treat professional athletes. So if you're a bodybuilder, football player, wrestler, basketball,
he's already got a couple world champions.
On the boxers and bodybuilders and fitness people. So we have the team here to help you. And we are here all day. If you have any questions, come on down. We're ready to help you out. Any parting shots for your millions of fans?
And you know what? We didn't even mention the food. Right? We got.
He's here. Who is that? The kebab
we got the
mob?
kebab mob. I like it.
The mob is here, Joe.
I'm
you got to watch what
I'm
you
going to
say
have to go have a little talk with them and make sure they got cleared.
Yeah.
No, we got great new food out there today. So come on down and sample that on top of everything else.
Well, thanks so much for all the support throughout this year and the last 25 years or so. We continue the legacy of you-know-who, Dr. Weiner.
Dr. James
and we
Weiner.
got the Wellness Weeks going at full blower. We are doing a hybrid because we continue to evolve, Joe, right?
Evolution.
So we want to make sure everyone is supported and serviced, so we can do that via email, through our website. You can also call, or you can come down live. We like when you come live, but whatever works for you, and we're here till the end of the month. So come on down, World of Wellness, 2419 Baldwick Road. Thanks for all the support. Have a great, beautiful day, and God bless.